and welcome again. We've got our engine back from the rebuilders and I've started putting it back together again. So let's have a look around and see what they've done. We've of course got a new water pump, new belts, we've got a new crank from AE Car, a new oil pump from Tank Barrett, we've got new cams from Tank Barrett. I'll show you those in a minute. I've put this back on, replaced it. Steve has cleaned the engine beautifully and repainted it. So the engine has had a 0.4mm overbore. So the block's been bored out. We've got new neural pistons. Plus 0.4mm Tank Barrett. One of the best features of this engine is it's been balanced. So this pulley wheel, the crank, conrods, which are standard conrods, the new pistons and the clutch have all been sent away to be balanced. So they've been dynamically balanced, the crank's been dynamically balanced, so it'll make it a smooth engine, which is a good thing. I wanted to put the engine into the engine stand, but because the clutch is on it, it won't fit in. Now, I don't want to remove the clutch because the clutch has been balanced. It's marked here, so the clutch has been balanced with the flywheel and the crank. Everything's been balanced. So this has been lined up. Steve's put the clutch on, I lined the clutch up, so I don't want to take it off. So we're doing it here on the trolley. I've crackle finished the manifold, I've fitted it. This bracket is not tightened up because I'm going to put a new T-hose. I forgot to order it. In fact, I didn't forget to order it. I was going to use the old one, but I've decided I'll get a new one in. So I haven't done anything up because I'm going to have to undo it again and pull that out and make room for the T-piece hose there. The alternator's been reconditioned. As you can see, the sump pan's all been cleaned. There's our refurbished inlet manifold. I haven't put the injectors in yet, and let's lift the top off and have a look at the cams. Now, those are Tank Barrett's slightly high lift, pretty standard cams, so they're a little bit of a higher lift, but you still use the same shims apparently. They're a beautiful looking item. Before we turn it over, I'll get some cam lube, which according to Steve, who rebuilt the engine, cam lube is like a syrup, and you put it on and before you do any rotation of the engine. He's put grease into the oil pump, so the oil pump's ready to prime. So we won't do anything, we won't turn anything in case we knock the lump of grease out of the oil pump. So we won't do anything until we've got the engine in the car. Won't mess about turning it over until we've got the engine in the car. Right, this is a new clutch. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the gearbox on. We've got these shield at the back. I've got a shield at the bottom there, which has a 10mm bolt there, and then it bolts that way into the gearbox. And because this is a new clutch, it doesn't have the thrust bearing in it. The last clutch we did was an old clutch. It was already been fitted to the vehicle, so the thrust bearing is already in it. So then we've got to locate the forks. But as this is a new clutch with a new thrust bearing, we'll put this on the shaft of the gearbox, locate the forks into it, and then as we wind the gearbox on, that'll lock through the centre with those springs. we can check it, we'll move the clutch lever. So let's put the gearbox on. I've given this spindle a little bit of grease at the bottom, a little bit of grease at the top. Just a dab of grease on this spindle here, and we've put that on the shaft. I'll just put a little touch of grease on there. Put that on. Locate the pegs. Right, that's ready for action. So that, I put that black plastic thing on the back, that's like a seal. And then we'll shove this on. We've got it supported. Let's get it on the engine. Let's go up a touch. In a bit. One in. So Steve, when he's put the clutch on, has lined it up beautifully. That went in really smoothly. So the time has come to see if the clutch is engaged. Get a bit of a pipe. Right. So we're pushing it in through the hole. It hasn't gone in on its own. That's not got it. So it's clipped through. I think that's got it. Yeah. Right, so we probably shouldn't do this, but let's So we're going to disengage the slave cylinders here, pushes it that way. So we need to push this and see if it's clipped into the clutch. Yes. Right. Let's get it all dogged up. And we'll have to just adjust that plate at the bottom. Right, keep your fingers crossed. I think that's all right. I'll take all the ropes off, tighten it all up, and just check that one more time. I've been assembling the engine with this here, all the torque settings, and I've been ticking the bolts off as I've done them and trying to do the job properly. So we've got gearbox, rear cover to gearbox, support fixing gearbox assembly to engine, nut for stud, so that's over on the far side, so that's 8.5 Newton meters, which is 85 Newton meters. There we are on Newton meters, so that's 85, so that's pretty tight. So we'll do that, check all those, dog them all up, and the gearbox is on, and I'll give this one more test. Right, let's put the transfer box on. I've got a seal I'm going to stick on there. You'll notice that I'm not assembling it with any jointing compound, just a seal. It's supported here, that goes on there, so I've taken that off. Let's move that out of the way. Let's get a bit of wood under there. Okay. Put that on. Diff. So we've been organised for once. Let's take a bit of weight off that. Just ease it up a bit. That's it. And that one in there. That's not too long. to line up with these as well. Now, they do say here in Integrale land, don't do anything up until you can do everything up. So that's not on the line up with that. Excuse my head. That's not quite in line. We can't lift that up any further. Okay. That can't go up because that's on there. It needs to go that way a bit, but it can't because this is tight here. So I've slackened the gearbox off so we can just move it back a touch and get these in. So if we just put that in there, smashing, I can get those in. Then we'll put those in. Alright. Right. Right, we'll get those in. 13. So they're located around there. Those two are located. That's located. That's located. Now we've got to do the gearbox back up again. Don't them up. Don't that up. Do that. And then we're done. So I won't bore you with this anymore, and thank you very much for watching. Now if you go to integralingham.com, there's lots more technical things on there, and there's a workshop there you can have a look. And I'll write these articles up with a bit more technical information. But we've got the gearbox on, final drive on. I think we'll call it a day for today. I'll dog all them up and make sure they're done. Torque them up properly. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you'd like, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.